YouTube? Welcome back, episode 3. Ah, Nakey people. All these Nakey people. Okay, we can't take the knapsack? Well, that makes me sad. Well, anyway, we left last with these, unfortunately, now very, very barren people. I'm supposed to practice picking locks. Lead me to my work unless you plan to stay and help with torturing. Let me change the game over to Skyrim before I forget. Would be a nice thing to have. Search Elder Scrolls. I'm just going to change the title to filming. Okay. So, picking locks at... Let to see how that goes. Alright. There we go. What kind of powers you got? I'm the lizard thing. So I assume I'm able to breathe underwater. I think that's the main thing. Okay. But I have to practice doing this. So rotate lock by rotate the lock. The more lock will rotate before the pick breaks. When it's in the correct position, the lock fully rotate and open. Okay. So I have to turn this. No. No. Okay, so it only turns one way. No. No. It was like over here. No. Maybe it like resets and it's random. So I tried it a little bit before. Okay, let's try it over here. No. Oh, 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 ha, ha, ha. Oh, okay. No, I have to move it now with it. Okay. So we gotta move over here. So a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. Like, what, here? How many of these do I have? We're gonna be here a little while, everybody. Okay, third time was clearly the charm. Cool. And there's nothing in here. We're just gonna sit in here now. Yo, Nate, what's up? But thank you for the follow, hello, and goodbye. Nate, how are you, buddy? We're just gonna... There's nothing in here. This is really disappointing. We did all that for nothing. I really should have tried it for this poor, poor person here. And even this has bones in there. Okay, anyway. So... Oh? 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 No! No, we have it. It's here. This is it. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, money first. And then we'll maybe help the person. We'll consider that. Spell tome. Ooh, sparks. Okay. Hi. Oh, are you dead? Oh. Sorry. See, I thought I was going to be helping you. Yeah, no, we're not helping too many people in here. Okay, so let's see. Let's keep exploring this room. Ooh, a shield? Yes, please. And I will take that. What else can we take? Ooh, what is this? Brief history of the Empire. Ooh, get to read stuff? Some more stuff? A lockpick? Nice. Anything else on the shelf? What's this? Oh, that's volume 2. Hang on, we gotta read it in order. We gotta read it in order, okay? This isn't Rocket League. No, it's not. Oh, did I not change the game? No, it's now Skyrim, and I need to change the title to filming. There we go. All right, perfect. Nope. Okay, no, we are definitely doing Skyrim filming for YouTube. All right, brief history of the Empire, Volume 1. Okay. Before the rule of Tiber Septim, all Tamriel was in chaos. The poet Trasises called that period of continuous unrest days and nights of blood and venom. The kings were a petty lot of grasping tyrants who fought Tiber's attempts to bring order to the land, but they were as disorganized as they were dissolute, and the strong hand of Septim brought peace forcibly to Tamriel. The year was 896, or second era, 896. That's what the 2E means. The following year, the emperor declared the beginning of a new era. Thus began the third era, year Aught. For 38 years, Emperor Tiber reigned supreme. It was a lawful, pious, and glorious age. when justice was known to one and all from serf to sovereign. On Tiber's death, it reigned for an entire fortnight as if the land of Tamriel itself was weeping. The emperor's grandson, Pelagius, came to the throne. Although his reign was short, he was as strong and resolute as his grandfather had been, and Tamriel could have enjoyed a continuation of the Golden Age. Alas, an unknown enemy of the Septim family hired that accursed organization of cutthroats, the Dark Brotherhood, to kill the Emperor Pelagius the First as he knelt at prayer at the Temple of the One in the Imperial City. Pelagius the First's reign lasted less than 3 years. Oof! Pelagius had no living children, so the crown imperial passed to his first cousin, the daughter of Tiber's brother Agnerith. Kintira, former queen of Silvanar, assumed the throne as Kintira the First. Her reign was blessed with prosperity and good harvests, and she herself was an avid patroness of art, music, and dance. Kintira's son was crowned after her death, the first emperor of Tamriel to use the imperial name Uriel. Uriel I was the great lawmaker of the Septim dynasty and a promoter of independent organizations and guilds. Under his kind but firm hand, the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild increased in prominence throughout Tamriel. His son and successor Uriel II reigned for 18 years, from the death of Uriel I in 3rd Era 64 to Pelagius II's ascension in 3rd Era 82. Tragically, the rule of Uriel II was cursed with blights, plagues, and insurrections. The tenderness he inherited from his father did not serve Tamriel well, and little justice was done. Pelagius II inherited not only the throne from his father, but the debt from the latter's poor financial and judicial management. Pelagius dismissed all of the Elder Council and allowed only those willing to pay great sums to resume their seats. He encouraged similar acts amongst his vassals, the kings of Tamriel, and by the end of his 17-year reign, Tamriel had returned to prosperity. His critics, however, have suggested that any advisor possessed of wisdom, but not of gold, had been summarily ousted by Pelagius. This may have led to some of the troubles his son Antiochus faced when he, in turn, became emperor. Antiochus was certainly one of the more flamboyant members of the usually austere Septim family. He had numerous mistresses and nearly as many wives, and he was renowned for the grandeur of his dress and his high good humor. Unfortunately, his reign was rife with civil war, surpassing even that of his grandfather Uriel II. The War of the Isle in 3rd Era 110, 12 years after Antiochus assumed the throne, nearly took the province of Somerset Isle away from Tamriel. The united alliance of the kings of Somerset and Antiochus only managed to defeat King Orgum of the island kingdom of Pyandonia due to a freak storm. Legend credits the Sigic order of the Isle of Artaeum with the sorcery behind the tempest. The story of Kintira II, heiress to her father Antiochus' throne, is certainly one of the saddest tales in imperial history. Her first cousin Uriel, son of Queen Potima of Solitude, accused Kintira of being a bastard, alluding to the infamous decadence of the imperial city during her father's reign. When his accusation failed to stop her coronation, Uriel bought the support of several disgruntled kings of High Rock, Skyrim, and Morrowind, and with Queen Potima's assistance, he coordinated 3 attacks on the Septim Empire. How much more? Okay, good. The first attack occurred in the Iliac Bay region, which separates High Rock and Hammerfell. Kintira's entourage was massacred and the empress taken captive. For 2 years, Kintira II languished in an imperial prison believed to be somewhere in Glenpoint or Glenmoral before she was slain in her cell under mysterious circumstances. The second attack was on a series of imperial garrisons along the coastal Morrowind Islands. The empress's consort Contin Arynx fell defending the forts. The third and final attack was a siege of the imperial city itself, occurring after the Elder Council had split up the army to attack western High Rock and eastern Morrowind. The weakened government had little defense against Uriel's determined aggression and capitulated after only a fortnight of resistance. Uriel took the throne that same evening and proclaimed himself Uriel III, Emperor of Tamriel. The year was 3rd Era 121. Thus began the War of the Red Diamond, described in Volume 2 of this series. Whew! Yowza. There we go. But not fireworks on the 4th of July. Yes. Always fireworks on the 4th of July. That'll be later on this evening. Okay, Volume 2. Let's go. This is interesting stuff. All right. Finally, this series described in brief, the lives of the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, beginning with the glorious Tiber Septim and ending with his great-great-great-great-grand-niece Kintyra II. Kintyra's murder in Glen Point while in captivity is considered by some to be the end of the pure strain of Septim blood in the imperial family. Certainly it marks the end of something significant. Uriel III not only proclaimed himself Emperor of Tamriel, but also Uriel Septim III, taking the eminent surname as a title. In truth, his surname was Mantiarcho from his father's line. In time, Uriel III was deposed and his crimes reviled, but the tradition of taking the name Septim as a title for the Emperor of Tamriel did not die with him. For 6 years, the War of the Red Diamond, which takes its name from the Septim family's famous badge, tore the empire apart. The combatants were the 3 surviving children of Pelagius II, Potima, Sepphoris, and Magnus, and their various offspring. Potima, of course, supported her son Uriel III and had the combined support of all of Skyrim and northern Morrowind. With the efforts of Sepphoris and Magnus, however, the province of High Rock turned coat. The provinces of Hammerfell, Somerset Isle, Valenwood, Elsewhere, and Black Marsh were divided in their loyalty. But most kings supported Sepphoris and Magnus. In 3rd Era 127, Uriel III was captured at the Battle of Ichidag in Hammerfell. En route to his trial in the imperial city, a mob overtook his prisoner's carriage and burned him alive within it. His captor and uncle continued on to the imperial city and by common acclaim was proclaimed Sepphoris I, Emperor of Tamriel. Sepphoris' reign was marked by nothing but war. By all accounts, he was a kind and intelligent man, but what Tamriel needed was a great warrior, and he fortunately was that. It took an additional 10 years of constant warfare for him to defeat his sister Potima, the so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude, who died in the siege of her city-state in the year 137. Sepphoris survived his sister by only 3 years. He never had time during the war years to marry, so it was his brother, the 4th child of Pelagius II, who assumed the throne. The Emperor Magnus was already elderly when he took up the imperial diadem, and the business of punishing the traitorous kings of the War of the Red Diamond reigned much of his remaining strength. Legend accuses Magnus' son and heir Pelagius III of patricide, but that seems highly unlikely for no other reason than that Pelagius was king of Solitude following the death of Potima and seldom visited the imperial city. Pelagius III, who sometimes called Pelagius the Mad, was proclaimed emperor in the 145th year of the 3rd Era. Almost from the start, his eccentricities of behavior were noted at court. He embarrassed dignitaries, offended his vassal kings, and on one occasion marked the end of an imperial grand ball by attempting to hang himself. His long-suffering wife was finally awarded the regency of Tamriel, and Pelagius III was sent to a series of healing institutions and asylums until his death in 3rd Era 153 at the age of 34. The Empress Regent of Tamriel was proclaimed Empress Kataria I upon the death of her husband. Some who do not mark the end of the Septim bloodline with the death of Kintyra II consider the ascendancy of this dark elf woman the true mark of its decline. Her defenders, on the other hand, assert that though Kataria was not descended from Tiber, the son she had with Pelagius was, so the imperial chain did continue. Despite racist assertions to the contrary, Kataria's 46-year reign was one of the most celebrated in Tamriel's history. Uncomfortable in the imperial city, Kataria traveled extensively throughout the empire, such as no emperor ever had since Tiber's day. She repaired much of the damage that previous emperors' broken alliances and bungled diplomacy created. The people of Tamriel came to love their empress far more than the nobility did, and Kataria's death in a minor skirmish at Black Marsh is a favorite subject of conspiracy-minded historians. The sage Montalius' discovery, for instance, is of a disenfranchised branch of the Septim family, and their involvement with the skirmish was a revelation indeed. When Cassander assumed the throne upon the death of his mother, he was already middle-aged. Only half-elven, he aged like a Breton. In fact, he had left the rule of Wayrest to his half-brother Uriel due to poor health. Nevertheless, as the only true-blood relation of Pelagius and thus Tiber, he was pressed into accepting the throne. To no one's surprise, the Emperor Cassander's reign did not last long. In 2 years, he joined his predecessors in eternal slumber. Yikes! Uriel Lariat, Cassander's half-brother and the child of Kataria I and her imperial consort Galavir Lariat, after the death of Pelagius III, left the kingdom of Wayrest to reign as Uriel IV. Legally, Uriel IV was a septim. Cassander had adopted him into the royal family when he had become king of Wayrest. Nevertheless, to the council and the people of Tamriel, he was a bastard child of Gataria. Uriel did not possess the dynamism of his mother, and his long 43-year reign was a hotbed of sedition. Uriel IV's story is told in the third volume of this series. Whew! Yowza. Well, there's 15 minutes. That's a whole episode that we just got through. We're carrying too much to be able to run. Oh no. The next episode, we need to lose some weight.